All right. Sepupz. Wow. What a day. It's one of those things that is just like truly wonderful, amazing, incredible. Like you just think to yourself that wow, like it wasn't going to happen, but like it actually happened right there. It is like the ancient wisdom of those old people who basically just went all FAFO. I'm not going to say that on stream, but I think you know what that means. Welcome to the stream, Sepoops. We have a couple of you right here, and yeah, welcome, welcome. So yes, indeed, this live stream is titled "The Arrest of Zamri Vinoth." So how are you, Sepoops? I hope that you're all doing great. But anyway, let's get this going right here. Where are y'all watching from? Where are you watching from? Sapoops. And yeah, how do you feel about Zamri Vinoth getting arrested? Do you feel good or do you feel bad? How do you feel about Zamri Vinoth getting arrested? And yeah, that's gonna be a fun little poll right here. Good, bad, neutral, neutral. All right, start poll. Anyway, yeah, you can actually see right here that on the chat right there, you are seeing what's going on. What's up, Rosan? Hello, Warrior, and hello, Suran. What's up? You are watching from Singapore. Wow, it's like I gotta know like what's going on right over there in the neighborhood of my sad older brother nation. You know what? Like the Schadenfreude, I don't blame you at all because like, if I were like in your situation right here, I feel like once in a while, right? Like it's one of those things that like you need somehow to express like your sense of like Schadenfreude. Oh my God, like work is so stressful. Oh my God, my life is so shit. Oh my God, I work for at least like 15 hours today, even though it's a Saturday. Oh my God. But wait, Malaysia. Vote in the poll, the poops. And if you just came in, let me know. Like, where are you watching from? I would love to know. I would love to know. Anyway, so yeah, everyone. Zamri Vinoth Kalimuthu has just been arrested. And hello, everyone who just popped in. Rosan, I'm glad that you feel good about this. And Jayang, great. Like, it is kind of interesting to think about what's going on right here. There's so many of you out here. I think that's like that feeling that, like, oh, divine justice has been delivered. But for those of you who don't actually know what happened, I'm gonna show you, like, what is actually just happened right there on Zamri Vinoth's Facebook page. I don't know if any of you have actually gone and visited it before, but like you can actually see right here that in fact, yeah, you've got all these people crying right now about Zamri Vinoth getting arrested. Saudara Zamri Vinoth telah ditahan oleh pihak berkuasa dan telah dibawa ke IPD Dang Wangi. And there you are, Saboops. If you look at the reactions, actually, it's kind of interesting to look at because, like, I don't think I've seen so many angry emojis on a single post before. You have like all of these like angry people right over there, one after another. It's kind of interesting to look at right here. All these people literally thinking that, oh my God, the guy was a hero. What the heck? Or like maybe actually like this is something that he is doing because he wants to be a hero. You can see the crying emojis right here. Oh my God. Like all of these people right here just casually being all like, yo, like that is so sad. Of course, you have like some of y'all sapoops out here. All right, be honest, right? How many of you out there are the ones who are casually like writing this right now? You are the ones who are writing the story of like the laughter emojis. You know what? Like if you are on Facebook, go over to Facebook and feel free to drop a laugh react right there so we can change the ratio. Am I right? Am I right, Sapoops? But anyway, yeah, so for those of you actually who are wondering why I am chatting or yapping about this topic right here, it's because I think it's a sort of like relief almost. I think a lot of us we were really talking about like the whole Zamri Vinoth protest that they were planning to do during today, which was basically kind of like a sort of like canary in a coal mine. I don't know if any of y'all know like that phrase out there, but like there's this phrase that basically goes like the canary in the coal mine. All right, I'm gonna show you actually what this is right here on the screen share. But the canary in the coal mine, right? For an early indicator of potential danger or failure, basically, of like race relations in Malaysia. And like the thing about this whole like protest, which I think that a lot of y'all would have seen, right, is like it had so many warning signs. You have no idea how many warning signs there were. I mean, like I think that a lot of you actually had that warning sign, right? Like you're not dumb. Like you know what was going on right there. It was crazy, right? And like I actually made like a whole long post about this right here about all that happened. You can see that I had like some fun with the thumbnail right here. This is like what ChatGPT can bring to you right now. Like it's kind of interesting. But yeah, so like these are basically my thoughts on this. And like if you haven't actually seen this, feel free to like add me on Facebook or whatever, or you can like follow me in case we have not like met personally kind of thing. But like yeah. Like this is what is actually going on right at the moment. It's kind of crazy to think about. I can see by the way, like the chat, right? Like chat, y'all are casually like reacting right now and being all like 86% of you saying good, 3% bad, 11% neutral. Wow, that's crazy. Okay. I don't know. I don't know like how y'all feel, like all of y'all like bad sepupz. I mean like I don't know, like why would you go on a stream that literally says the arrest of Zamri Vinoth? Like what's going through your mind? I mean like bad sepupz, like how do you feel at the moment? Let me know, let me know, let me know. I'm interested to hear. So yeah, we've got like a couple of different comments here and there. And yeah, WPX 3000Y. That's a pretty interesting one right here. About Zamri allegedly having a rape case. I don't know if that actually happened or it didn't happen. But I do know that she talked about how she basically sued him, and then there's a whole bunch of like discussions going on right at the moment, featuring him suing and getting sued stuff right there. Lots of discussions right there. Samson, that's a very good point. Is he Malay? Well, like some people would then say that, itu adalah saudara seagama kami. So, bayangkan bagaimanakah mualaf ini telah mempertahankan kedaulatan negara ini. Like that's actually like one of the things that they said, like right when he started doing this whole like protest type thing right here. And like it's pretty interesting. Like you've got like this whole like drama right over there. It's crazy, it's crazy. Yeah. I don't know if like y'all saw this right here, but like there is a full on like clip and live stream basically featuring him. Let me just see right here. Actually, yeah. So like, there's this whole like clip here featuring him, right? Like just saying, "Hey, you know what? Like, I am willing to die for this whole thing right here. I'm willing to die. I'm willing to get arrested." Well, you know what? He actually got what he wanted. But this is a pretty interesting to think about, and I thought actually that I would show you something, right? That I made a little bit earlier on. I don't know if I've always like kept it hidden from you that like the way I make my thumbnails is like basically using Canva and stuff like that. So like I'm gonna show you right now, right? Like this is the thumbnail that you were looking at. Anybody wanna guess why I said this right here? The just as plan? Anyone? Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and read the comments right now. I'm not sure if like any of y'all have like some thoughts. But yeah. There you've got a couple of things like the sentiment. Then you've got like the message, and there you've got the lawyer Hanif Khatri, who is like basically like a really popular lawyer at this point. I don't know if any of y'all happen to know like who this guy is, but he's also like that one lawyer, right? I don't know whether he's actually Indian. Is he Indian? I don't know if he's Indian. Like he might be Indian, but like he is basically that one lawyer, right? Who literally went out and defended the whole idea of like, oh, it's agama persekutuan, bukannya agama rasmi type thing right there. There are actually a few of these like lawyers in particular, right? So like I'll show you a couple a little bit later on, but like for now I will just observe to you, right? That like the particular lawyer who is with Zamri Vinoth at the moment right here is basically Hanif Khatri, who is basically this guy. Islam as the agama persekutuan bukan agama rasmi. Okay, interesting point. But like, yeah, he appears basically with like Mahathir. He appears with like a whole bunch of like different people here and there and everywhere kind of thing. He's like basically like that. Shall we say like political cause, like shall we say ketuanan, kedaulatan agama type lawyer right there. He shows up like pretty much all the time. It's very interesting to see how people find niches for themselves. But anyway, like yeah, like he's there. And another one of them actually is the good old fashioned ideal Khalid, who is like the lawyer basically, who goes out there and like defends in all of those cases. And whoa, 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 look at that. Like this is like the lawyer just casually walking along and like being detained. Gosh, what is going on? And also for those of you out there who don't really know about like the whole ecosystem of all of these people. Oh. Okay, pro media touched it. Okay, so first of all, look at this. Look at this. Does this look like the face of somebody who is like basically crying to you? Does he seem sad? Or like, is that an expression of defeat? Just look at that. He's basically like going up to the cops and then being all like, oh, I will go along with like your beautiful, beautiful plan right here. I submit to going along with the authorities. I don't know, man. Like it's you know, like some a lot of y'all, right? Like in the poll, like y'all are saying that this is really great. That basically like he has been like arrested and stuff like that. But actually, if you think about it, right, like it's not really that great because like again, right, like bro, like he wanted this to happen. Like let me emphasize the use of poops. He wanted this to happen. Let me tell you why, right? Uh, it's because actually, right? If you get arrested, right, then you get sympathy. And when you get sympathy, right, then that is the point that you actually get popular. Like that is like the playbook of like basically almost every single one of the play victim people out there who try to basically like shoot up to superstardom, right? In order for them to like get even more money in the future. And I see that like some of y'all out there, you don't actually know like who Zamri Vinoth is. Okay, so guys, I'm gonna lay it on you, right? So if you had watched like my most recent video, then you would have seen this in the thumbnails a little bit earlier on. Let me go right ahead and see if I can show it to you. Bum. Okay, great. So look at this. 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 Look closely at the thumbnails. All right. So like, I don't know how many of you know about this, but like, I tend to put like a lot of like thought into these thumbnails right here, right? But like, it's titled. This video right here is titled "Why is Malaysia Still Protecting Zakir Naik?" Okay, maybe the thing that people like don't necessarily know, right, is that like if we actually go ahead and remove, right, this whole picture right here from like the background. I'm gonna duplicate this page so like it doesn't like break it or anything, right? If I get rid of this image right here, it is actually, right, that picture from the Himpunan is on. Well, it's not really on right now, but like, yeah, it's actually like the picture from the Himpunan Gerakan Anti Rumah Anutan Haram, which is, by the way, like the thing that essentially Zamri Vinoth organized and that he wanted to get arrested for, no doubt, right? But okay, the reason, right, that this picture right here exists right here is that if you search, right, the phrase, let's see, Zakir Naik Zamri Vinoth, right? Okay, so let's see, Zamri Vinoth. All right, picture. All right, look at this. Naik student. He is a student of Zakir Naik. And look at this. Like he even has a picture of like Perlis on the shirt right here because like presumably that is where Zakir Naik is living right now, where he is supported by people like Dr. Maza, who is like basically like just casually inviting him to different events, like defending him everywhere. It's crazy, bro. Like, like you think to yourself that like, well, everybody hates the guy, right? Like that is evidence right there, right? That like you cannot literally just be like limited to your way of thinking. And like by the end of this live stream, so I hope that I can actually convince you, right, of like one thing that maybe you might not have thought of like before this entire live stream, and that is that maybe the guy actually wanted to get arrested. I repeat, maybe the guy actually wanted to get arrested, which is crazy to think about. Yeah. And okay, so I'm seeing right now like some comments from all of y'all out there. So 84% of y'all think that this is good, right? I wonder if we can actually change that by the end of the night, right? Because again, right, like well, maybe we don't need to change it, right? But like, if you think about it, just because he's arrested, right, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's like a great thing. It's like amazing. It's wonderful. This is the best thing in the entire world. No, like not at all. You know why? Because again, well, he might have wanted to get arrested, right? Like that is just how it is. So like, look, I'm gonna go ahead and show you, right? Like that this is actually a constant trend that does like appear basically like across like different places like here and there, right? If you look at like Randuk 3.0, for example, right? Like look at the way, right? Like the guy actually got popular. It was because he in fact ended up playing victim, and then from there, right, because he was detained, right, then he became like popular again. This is what is actually happening right over here. And that is almost like a human psychology thing, right? Like the way that people actually respond to things like this is that they tend to feel that if somebody was actually persecuted, then they will become heroes. And you want to know something like kind of controversial? Honestly, I feel, right, that like this is how almost every single politician in the world of the Malay, like, shall we say, Ketuanan sort right there, like appeals, right? I'm not saying this as like it's like a sort of like bad thing right there, although like some could say that it's like a bad thing, but I'm just saying that that is how it works, right? You basically tell people like they are constantly victimized, right? And then like you basically say that like, oh, I am one of you. I too have suffered. I too have experienced the depths of like this struggle and desperation right here. So you must support me because I understand the way that you feel your innermost self. And when Zamri Vinoth gets arrested right here, you can bet, right, that the donations will just casually come streaming in, one after another. And if you feel that basically there's better causes to consider donating to, consider donating at the QR code down below. It does help my channel, and I appreciate it. But if you actually think about it, right, like, yes, the relationship between Zakir Naik and Zamri Vinoth is basically that of teacher and student. Zakir, basically, if you think about it, right, he is also kind of like a martyr, right? Like persecuted. He basically got his ass away from India, right? And like right now, Narendra Modi is like hanging out in Malaysia right now. That's what my last video was about, right? That like, hey, maybe it's the time, right, for y'all to go out there and actually for the first time go out there and catch this guy. Like Malaysia has actually been blowing off the process of catching this guy over and over again. And I think that I showed y'all, right, this on like the video. But look, like Anwar said basically on the subject of extradition, hey, let the matter rest for a while. And then like when we think about Mahathir and what he said, right? Basically the way that Mahathir talked about it, right, was that basically Modi, right, did not ask for extradition. Let me see if I can find the article right here. Modi, okay. NDTV, Mahathir Mohamad. Wow, like that is interesting. But anyway, yeah, okay. Look at this. We have the right to not extradite Zakir Naik. And like this is basically what it is, right? Like they think that, well, he is a fugitive, he will not get a fair trial right there. And in fact, right, like this mentality that like you are helping people who are persecuted, right? It is basically everywhere, right? So like it's actually fascinating, right? Because in fact, if you look at like the way that Zamri Vinoth has like phrased all of this before, right? Like in fact, like when he talked about how like he got into like his journey, right? He was like basically saying that, hey, look, like Muslim people are bullied all of the time, kind of thing. And like it is from there, right, that like he manages to get even more people to support, right? And yeah, so like we do have like some examples right here, right? Of like what is actually going on with all of that stuff. And yeah, it's very interesting to think about. I see like some people out there using the term martyr, right? And you know what? I think that it's kind of worthwhile, right, for you to think about a little bit of history right here because like Zamri Vinoth and Randuk are not the only people, right, who make use of this strategy. It's actually very well documented. Does anybody out here like Lee Kuan Yew by any chance? I don't know if any of y'all happen to like Lee Kuan Yew, but for those of you who did not know, so then I am a fan of Lee Kuan Yew, a very big fan, in fact, to the point that, in fact, at this moment in time, I can happily tell you that I actually wrote a book. And some of you might have actually seen me like shilling it like once in a while here and there. But yeah, like there is a full on book that I wrote about Lee Kuan Yew that you can actually buy in the description right here from my website directly. But it's called One Date, Two Destinies in reference, right, to the fact that Lee Kuan Yew's birthday was on September the 16th, but it was also Malaysia Day, all right? Now, there's a whole lot of like different things right here about Lee Kuan Yew and his story and his journey and everything like that, which you can look at, no problem. But the thing is, right? Okay, one thing that I really want to show you at the moment. Look, so see this right here. So like these basically are like what we call like the pro-communist faction of the PAP. So like, of course, like like political party, right? Like you have your Akmal Salihs, you have like your good old fashioned, I don't know, like Tokmats right there. That's kind of like nice. Your Aziz Zalina Othman Sayyids, and then you have your Jamal Yunusers, who are apparently getting at the moment, well, his house is basically getting auctioned off at the moment because he can't pay Teresa Kok, which is crazy. But what I want to tell you right now about Mr. Lee, right, is that like there was a time actually, right, when he was fighting against like the communists, right, or at least the people who were on the side of the communists, right? And I know that like, communism isn't something that a lot of us like even talk about on a day-to-day basis, except to insult people. Like the moment you see somebody who is like vaguely Chinese, then you start insulting them and screaming, oh, this one is a communist, right? But back to the point, right? So one thing that the communists or the left used to do, right, is to actually have protests, exactly like what Zamri Vinoth is doing right here. And then one thing that they actually did, right, during their protests is that they would actually go around, right, and then actively try to get injured. Bro, like they actively tried to get injured. You know why? They actually try to get injured because if you get injured, right, then you can actually show that like the other side is so cruel. Oh, look at all those colonialists. Oh, look at the British government. Oh, they're so horrible. Oh, that sort of thing. And there was actually a time, right? Bro, there was actually a time when like a guy got injured, right? And then what the communists did was that they basically took his body, right? And then they started carrying it all around the city of Singapore, even though they could have brought him to hospital because they wanted him to die. You know why they wanted him to die? They wanted him to die because, like, then, right, then they can create a story in the media, like, we are so oppressed, this sucks. And then from there, right, then it causes people in public opinion to shift. Now, why am I doing this live stream? I'm doing this live stream because I noticed exactly the same pattern. I noticed that when Zamri Vinoth is basically looking at the camera, he is smiling. I expect that he's going to be smiling because you know why? Because, right, like that is exactly the outcome, right, of him getting arrested is exactly the strategy that he basically wants to bring into force. Yep. That's not like a scared person or anything. He's just like, hey, you know what? Like, this is exactly what we want right here. Hey, what's up? High five. Like, look at these people. Do they look angry to you? Bro, no. Like, this is like a technicality. It's a technicality upon technicalities, one after another. And like, you can maybe see right here. Do you see that? Do you see that? See this? Yeah, that. Yeah, that. Okay, you know who else did that? Yeah, so like that is like the Donald Trump. I don't know if you remember like the assassination, but like this is one of the most famous pictures from the entire assassination, right? And it looks exactly like this. See that? Yeah, like what you saw on the camera earlier was exactly this right here. And if you actually remember also, then you have Anwar Ibrahim's black eye. So like I don't know if like the photo was exactly like that, but like basically same. I mean like it's not a fist, right? But like basically this is the kind of like gesture that people make, right? If they want to show like, oh, you know what? I was like the paling victimized. Like it's interesting to think about right here. And yeah, it's kind of crazy. But you know, like one of the reasons, right, that I like history and I read about it, right, about Lee Kuan Yew and everything like that, right, is because I know that like the world and like historical events and patterns they kind of like rhyme, okay? So dia ada macam irama dia yang macam ada pattern rima macam A B C B C B C ke like whatever have you right there, but like yeah, so like playing victim, right, is like a very it's like a very shall we say sophisticated strategy, right, that I have seen, like to the point that it's like actually crazy, you know. And like, you know, I don't know, like when you think about playing victim right here, like I feel that a lot of these people, right, like they have it literally down to an art form. Like seriously, like okay, if you say that like, well, Malaysia as a society is not a very innovative society kind of thing. Oh, we have like some problems right here. We don't have like a ton of innovation. Oh, like middle income trap type of thing. You know, like I actually kind of like think that maybe you're just looking in like the wrong places. And yeah, so like why I say in the wrong places, right, is that if you actually want to see innovation from Malaysia, all you really need to do is like literally just go looking around in like the comments sections, and there you are going to see, right? Like a whole lot of that type of like victim playing. Look at this. I mean, like, okay, see, think about what this comment over here says. And like one of you actually like followed me on Facebook and like shared this, right? And it says right here, jika DAP kalah PAS akan hapuskan kaum Cina. Si komen dap. Nampak tak siapa yang terpaling rasis dan menunggang bangsa kita? That kind of thing right there. And like you have to wonder to yourself, right? Like, did Ngakoming actually say this? Or was it misinterpreted? Like, did he actually say those exact words? Or like was it otherwise? And sometimes, you know, when I read like the news, right, in Malaysia, I just like cannot actually tell because like the level of victim playing is actually like to such a level that I just cannot at this moment even understand like how they even develop that level of skill. Do you know? Like, I just got a sense of like this level of gaslighting kind of thing. Like, when like the October 7th attacks like happened, right? And then like basically immediately, right, I started realizing, right, that like, okay, like there are like very bad things going on, right? But like for a lot of people, it's like basically like you choose one side already, right? You just never change your point of view. It doesn't matter what evidence comes out. Like anytime like something happens to side with the side that you don't like, right? Then like it's like the media is biased. Oh, what's that? Like BBC said that? How could you get educated? And then like the next thing you know, then Al Jazeera says something that these people don't agree with, and then suddenly, right, then like, oh, Al Jazeera, you tahu tak yang itu bias punya media. You tak tahu you pergilah baca itu betul punya information tau. But see, the thing is, right, it's like very hard for you to actually like just, shall we say, like interpret events, which is like crazy to like think about at the moment. Yeah, and I see like some pretty good questions right here, and I want to like kind of advance some of them to the chat right here. Like, all right, so one of y'all basically said, "Hey, I wonder how many people actually came for the protest." And you know what? Like, we can actually like kind of like look at like what's going on right here, right? And we can also like make an inference from the fact that like right now it is actually raining, right? So like I don't know where you are at the moment, but like in KL at the moment, so like it is actually raining. And like given that it's actually raining in KL right now, you can imagine that like not everybody is just gonna be like out right there. And let's see if we can actually like find like some pictures right here of like the rally and stuff like that. And if the answer actually is no, right, then like that kind of suggests, right, that actually like almost nobody really came, bro. But like just think about it, right? Like you have like all of these comments right here, 4.3K likes right here, and then like 279 comments kind of thing. You would imagine that basically, well, there will be a whole ton of people, right? But then at the same time, also, right? Like, again, I told you that I like history, right? For a very specific reason right here, because it rhymes, right? It rhymes, it always rhymes. So, like, all right, now let me tell you about like another rally that happened near Sogo a while ago. By the way, guys, like I really wonder why, right? Like there are so many people out there who are always constantly, right? Like just trying to, well, protest at Sogo. You know, like the Himpunan Turun Anwar, right? So like that actually happened at Sogo as well. Look at this. Like Sogo, Sogo, Sogo all the way, baby. Look at this. It's not just that particular protest, it's like this one as well. Look at this. Now, this is a protest right over there. And I recall that they were like targeting like a whole ton of people right there. They were like targeting like I think like Shahidan Kasim, right? Shahidan Kasim, 200,000 people. I think like he was like saying that like, hey, 200,000 Turun Anwar. I don't know. I don't remember exactly like how many people he actually said. Ah, okay, no. So like Syahidan Ramal Himpunan Turun Anwar boleh sampai 500,000 orang. Okay. And then like if you look at this right here, so then like the estimates are like 25,000 kind of thing right there. That is like basically a grand total of like 5% of his actual estimate. So it's like, okay, that's very interesting. You know, I'm actually starting to think, right, that there might actually be a formula for this sort of thing right there. Okay. So like the reason I'm saying this is not just like because of Merapu, okay? I'm like saying this literally because of math. You know why? You know why? It's because, right, look, and I do math like quite a fair bit right here. So like I am actually able to do this, right? Look. So like let's think about like the Himpunan Melayu Berdaulat. Does anybody remember that? Yeah, the Himpunan Melayu Berdaulat. Yeah, if you don't remember, actually, like that was a protest where all of these people basically wanted to be all like, hey, you know what? Like we are the best in the world, nega chill, chalaka. All right, so now estimates of this right here were like anywhere from like, oh, there are like so many different people right here, right? And they were like saying, hey, 15,000 people are gonna show up, right? And then actually, like, if you look at like the actual number of people who show up, right, it is literally 700, right? And so here's where I say the formula comes in, right? Because like, just take whatever number that they say are going to turn up and then multiply that by 5%. And that's the actual number who are gonna show up right there. But I mean, like, it sounds like really sad, right? That, like, like you think to yourself that, like, all these people will always be like, bersatu, satu dan semua demi kedaulatan, demi bangsa, or what have you right there. And look, right, like, there's nothing wrong fundamentally, right, with like wanting your community to do well, right? I'm not saying that you shouldn't want your community to do well. I want your community to do well. right? And I'm not saying that in like the typical like, oh, it's like apek China, like I will side with like every single person out there type thing right there. Because I think it's obnoxious, honestly, to just be all like, oh, I must pander to you kind of thing. Bro, like, like even on this channel, do I pander to you? No, like sometimes, right? Like if I disagree with you, I will flat out like say, I think you're wrong. Like sometimes I will actually go out there and insult you. Like, I'm sorry, I'm like that, like fierce uncle at like the Kopitiam who like when you order slowly or basically you give me shit, I will give you shit right back. But like, look, like, I mean, I don't know, man. Like, when we think about like, say, Melayu berdaulat or like successful people kind of thing, right? Like, I think that like a lot of these people they have a very certain idea of like what success actually means that is like very twisted. And why do I say that it's like very twisted? I say that because like it is based on basically what I understand as like woke ideology. Bro, like I literally think of it as woke ideology. Some of y'all might think, right, that like it is actually just based on like, oh, the idea basically that you must have your marwah diri, jati diri return to the world kind of thing, right? But like honestly, like I don't know how sustainable that really is. Like just think about it, right? Like I mean, guys, right? Like the other day, right? I received a call from my aunt, and like I can actually like recount that call right now. Cause like she saw me like arguing with like somebody, right, on like either Facebook or YouTube or something like that. And you know what she said to me? You know what she said to me? She said, right, that, Victor, you know, I always care for you, right? But I think that one thing you need to know is that there is a difference, right, between people winning and people thinking that they are winning. They are not the same thing, right? You, if you go out there and then you say that like you are winning kind of thing, like we are the strongest, we are the best in the entire world right there, does it mean that you're winning? Okay, you know what? Like I'm gonna go right ahead and ask, shall we say, this sort of thing right here. So like all right, somebody is being annoying right at the moment. All right, we are gonna put you on timeout right here, and you are gonna be on timeout for 24 hours. Um, you wanna know something interesting right here? I mean, like, if you want to talk about like Bukit Aman, bro, like here we have like the people who are like just casually like yapping about Bukit Aman. I mean, like, bro, like like if we say like Bukit Aman, come on, like guys, I don't think you understand just like how many different interactions I've had with the police at this point right here. And like it's actually to the point that like a police officer literally went up to me and said, "Hey, you know what? You should probably get married at some point right here." And like he was like kind of like hinting that he should get like an invitation from me or something like that right there. So if you want to be annoying, right? You want to like go out there and then like you want to be all like, "Oh my god, tahu tak kawan aku kat mana?" Bro, like, okay. So like I will show you a couple of examples, right? Like of why I say this right here that like what you are saying is not really like a special thing. Like I know that a lot of people out there they have like a very strong ego. They are like, oh my god, like saya ada kawan dalam PDRM. Like bro, like I mean, do you know that like I can literally just be like showing you right now, like multiple friends in the PDRM, Bukit Aman as well. I can't like share you like names or anything like that, right? But like, look, like this is an actual thing, right? Like they are actual people in Aman and the PDRM. It's not special for you to have friends in the police. And like I know that some of y'all out there you think that I have like some crazy connections or whatever have you right there, but like this is not not necessarily a special thing. This is like the kind of thing that you can expect from being a standard issue normal adult in your day-to-day life, whatever. Like you want to talk about how like oh my god, like I'm so special kind of thing, like because I have like friends in the police, bro. Like just come on, like just I don't know, like don't be like Delulu because like you think that you're winning kind of thing. It's not that you're winning again. And like this is the point I was trying to make earlier. And okay, like last thing right here, right? By the way, like I found like a racist like police bantuan kind of thing the other day right there, and an actual like police officer was like showing me like the actual uniform right here. And that guy, kind of an interesting character by the way. I'm gonna just show you guys like really quickly. this guy named Hafizuddin Hamza, basically like he was like going out and like basically having a nice like little exchange with me on this piece featuring Fahmi Fadzil, right? Saying that hey, like we will support like the enforcement of freedom of speech laws right there, which hey, by the way, like you are right now on a live stream about how a certain Zamri Vinoth got arrested, which is kind of like the law, like actually, well, came into force right here. And basically, the police, whether you agree with like say things like Sedition Act or like basically like protecting like the harmony of our society or not, I think that most of you out there, just based on the fact that we had the poll and like over 80% of you that you said that like his getting arrested was a good thing, right? Well, I think that what you have here is just like an indication that hey, you know what? Like maybe in certain situations we do need things like the Sedition Act or like for example like Akta 233 or stuff like that. But anyway, so like back to the context for a quick bit, right? So then like I was like talking about the whole guy that you guys saw in like the well Taipusam live stream just the other well not live stream the video just the other day about how like this guy was like going out and then trying to berdakwah kind of thing. And then like this guy goes on and then starts talking about how oh immigrants who live here cannot accept us as a majority, can choose or live in other countries. I found out that basically, well, he is actually a worker in Kementerian Pembangunan Wanita right here, which is very interestingly enough, a certain Nancy Shukri's ministry. I don't know if you remember like who Nancy Shukri is, but basically she's the minister, right, of women and family community development of Malaysia. And you have like this employee who's like actually a racist. So I don't know how that actually works right there, but yeah. So like the guy, right, that was like racist earlier, and he was like unapologetically racist for that matter, right? So I basically found out, right, that like he is, well, not just, right, a worker at that particular ministry kind of thing, but I discovered also that like he is actually like a police bantuan, which was very interesting to think about right over there. But like, maybe like, let me not like directly show the face or anything like that because I think that you guys can actually like figure it out for yourselves. But yeah, it's kind of wild, right? But yeah, so again, right, going back to this idea, right, of well, you can say that you are winning, right? But like, are you actually winning? Like for me, I think that that's like a huge source of fascination right here, right? And it is like this, right? Like if you are like the guy, right, who yang dok kata, oh okay, so like loser race, stupid face, that sort of thing right there. Like it's not an indication that you're winning, you know? Like, you can actually be saying that, like, oh, someone else is a loser race, that kind of thing. But, like, actually, they're much more successful than you. But see, that's the thing, right? Like, you have a lot of people out there who somehow think that they are winning all the while. And, like, I was thinking about this, right? Like, so many of these people are probably, like, psychologically damaged. They are psychologically damaged. And I don't know, man. Like sometimes I actually feel like some degree of like pity for people like these who say that like they are actually like the best people in the entire world, but like they are basically not at all. But you know what? Like, chat, we're gonna go back to like the topic of what we came here for today. And to those of you who just came in for the live stream, welcome. My name is Victor, and yeah, I yap about politics like once in a while. And you are here on a live stream of the arrest of Zamri Vinoth. So for a little bit of like context for those of you who just came in. So ni adalah satu posting yang bertajuk Makluman buat semua saudara Zamri Vinoth telah ditahan oleh pihak berkuasa. And we were talking about how like, oh, actually kan, like he was playing victim and it was actually a good thing for him right there. And here, actually, I want to come back to that point, right? And maybe some of you didn't see like the whole like ideal Khalid thingamabob right over there, but basically Zamri Vinoth, right? When he actually went and well, got arrested. He was literally going all like this. Macam like that Anwar Ibrahim sort of like pumping the fist in the air thing. You tahu tak kenapa? Itu sebab dia memang dari mula pun dah jangka yang dia akan kena dakwa. Dia akan kena tangkap. Dia akan menjadi martyr. Dia akan boleh cari wang sebab dia kena piti oleh semua orang. All right, you know what? We haven't been looking at like the reactions for a bit. So you know what? Like let's look at the reactions for now. Look. So just now, right? Like we were seeing like a couple of angry emojis, but like now what are we seeing? Look. 181 shares from all of these people right there thinking that oh ini adalah sesuatu yang merupakan fitnah right there. And then basically like this is what they're saying right here. Like the people who support religion have been ditindas. And bro, like okay, let me go ahead right and ask you right. Okay, all right. First, right, let me show you like a couple of different things right here. Then after that, right, then I'll ask you the question. I'll ask you the question in the poll, right? Okay. So if you look at like what is happening right here, you see what's going on, right? They say, right, that actually everything that you see right here is about kedaulatan undang-undang. All right. And you know what? Like, let's go back to where we were before, right? And look at the shares again, right? Kedaulatan undang-undang. Okay. And you know what? Let's actually look at these things like side by side so you can actually see like what is actually going on right here. So kat kiri ada orang yang dok share post ni yang dok cakap. By the way, this guy is like another one. Like he's basically like an influencer, right? Who literally tries to talk about personal branding all the time, right? But then actually like all he does is just make like racist rage bait content all the while. And it's like it's fascinating, you know? Like you look at like the view counts on all of this right here. Like look, hey, like this is what your good old fashioned like personal branding actually is right here. Kenapa saya ajak anda buat video 8.1k, but then like whenever he starts talking about DAP, then immediately then it becomes like 163k right there because like somehow it feels for him that like oh this is what I want right here, and like what else? What else? He wants to influence the results of PRU 16, which is like how ridiculous is that? Right there. But you know what? Like, if he actually does succeed, which is actually possible, right? Then like that suggests to you that like this country is cooked. And yeah, you know what? Like, we can't do anything about it. Like, migrate, migrate, migrate. As if like the fact that like the tax revenues were already low. And I wonder what that has to do with people like migrating out of the country right here. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you can like, I don't know, like watch a couple more videos and then like write some sort of milk or toast piece about how like, ooh, we can do a little bit better right here while you avoid the problem entirely. Look at this. Look at this. Okay. So, Zamri Vinoth cakap, okay, ini adalah perhimpunan aman berkaitan kedaulatan undang-undang menentang jenayah ceroboh. Tapi kenapa pula ada orang yang cakap kita sekarang berada di zaman fitnah? Orang yang sokong blah di T. Orang yang hina blah di L. Okay, so like I have no problem with a person going out there and supporting their religion and everything, right? But who's right? This guy? On the left? Look, on the left? Or this guy on the right who actually organized the protest? Because as far as I know, like it's about menentang jenayah ceroboh. Why is this guy suddenly talking about religion? Okay. Well, you know what? What I actually think is that Zamri Vinoth is the one that's in wrong, right? He's the one who's saying that it has nothing to do with religion or anything like that. But then, like, you casually bring out like what, like Muslim NGOs, like one after another kind of thing. Then how can it not be a religious thing? It's like basically like Muslims versus Hindus. That's the setup that you created, right? Like you can like try to deny it or anything like that, right? But like that's effectively what happened, right? I'm not saying right kan yang kalau you nak pertahankan agama ke, you nak like kedaulatan ke, you nak like you punya agama to like to have like a bigger space in public life and everything like that. Like dipersilakan, you know, like if you want to like feel better about yourself and you need to express yourself in that way as long as it does not interfere with my ability to live life and to basically like also tune out whenever I need to tune out, I'm fine with it, right? It's like, for example, like if you go and like you have a wedding and stuff like that, right? Like, do I like go out there and scream, "Hey, you don't pray! How dare you pray?" kind of thing? Like, that's not appropriate. No, like, bro, like that's like crazy behavior. Cause like, if you're my friend, right? I want to see you happy. I want to see you like enjoy like what it is that you believe, right? Like, your God is your God. My God is my God. What you believe is what you believe. It is as your scriptures themselves said, lakum dinukum waliya din. But so now, right, like that y'all have seen everything right there. I'm gonna go ahead and ask y'all a question, right? So very simple question for all of y'all. Okay. All right, poll. Do you think that the Quill Haram protest was actually a religious conflict masked as a rule of law thing? Or was it actually a rule of law protest? All right, so that's like a question right here, which is a little bit too long. I think you can see that like right now it's like 150 characters, so I can't really like put that in. Do you think that the Quill Haram protests, by the way, like for those of you who are watching right now, so like if you're wondering like how I'm writing this right here, it is from Whisperflow. You can go ahead and like use the link down below, and that is gonna let you basically like make use of that software right over there. And yeah, so like, do you think that the Quill Haram protest was actually a religious protest or a rule of law protest or a rule of law protest? All right, okay, religious, and then next rule of law. All right, so like maybe if you want, right, then you can also say neither. Okay, or you can yeah, okay, let's just say like neither and then other. Okay, that's what it's gonna be. Religious, rule of law, neither, other. Okay, go for it. All right, so comments from everyone out there. Hello, Saktish. Hello, Alifl. And yeah, you've got like a whole bunch of like all of y'all out there. Thank you for popping by. Terima kasih, terima kasih, terima kasih, sepup. Safi. What is up? It is good to see you again. Aku tetap bertahan, tak boleh tahan sudah. Kenapa, bro? Kenapa, bro? You baru je insaf yang ada orang yang juga ada kawan dalam PDRM? Bro, like, oh my god, like, I don't know, like, all these people, right? Like, they feel somehow that, like, you know, like, just because they are of a certain race, right? Then, like, they have more friends than everybody else who are, like, in the PDRM. Bro, like, I don't know, man. Like, it's these people are just like so outdated, you know, like they just have like this idea that's like from like back in 1990 or something out there, and like they just want to like live in that way, like just thinking to themselves, kedaulatan, kamu semua itu barua dan sebagai barua, kau kau jahanam, kau tak ingat lagi perjuangan yang telah kami juangkan. Inilah sesuatu yang telah kau abaikan. Jangan kau lupa perjuangan nenek moyang kami terhadap si komunis bangsa laknat itulah. That sort of thing right there. And like they will just keep going on and on. Teringat peristiwa buang dalam filem Sarjan Hasan. Ingatlah wahai bangsaku, nescaya terlupa lagi darah daging yang telah dipergadaikan dan tanah yang telah dipertikaikan. Wahai, bangkitlah dan jadikan lagi tanah ini tanah yang berdaulat. Imagine, right? Like people actually like going out there and like giving like these kinds of like movie-esque speeches like that. Like one of the things that I actually do sometimes is I just like go out there and I just like imitate these people. It's kind of like character acting, you know what I mean? Like you just like go out there and then like you're like thinking to yourself, hey, like what if I could actually just completely imitate this particular person out there? And like it's the kind of thing that like you kind of like learn once in a while. It's almost like, you have like you're like training an AI model, you experience something over and over again. I like the feeling of like trying to be like different people at different times in different places here and there, which is I just think it's like so fun, I just really enjoy it. So yeah, I don't know. Like maybe it's like kind of like messed up kind of thing. But anyway, I want to see the results of our little poll right at the moment, right? And I think that y'all have a couple of these results right here, which I really want to see, but like for some reason I can't really see the results at the moment. But anyway, yeah. So what do we have right here? Religious or rule of law? Neither or other. Damn. Okay. Like some of y'all out there are just casually, well, saying that it is neither, and some are other right there. It's crazy, like to think about. Yeah, so like guys, I want to know, right? Like, why do you think that maybe it is actually a neither or other? Bro, like 58% of y'all saying that it was actually religious is crazy. Thank you for that support. I accept that assessment. I think that that is actually a thing as well, right? And like it's crazy, right? To just like think about. Safi, what is up again? And what do we have right here? VK Dev, what's up? Brit guy who has lived in KL, now in India listening. Bro, truly amazing. Wow, like this is like amazing. Right over there. Okay, great. I'm glad that you are listening in. Thank you so much for being a part of this live stream right over here. We have like people from like different races, religions, cultures, and everything out there. And I am so glad and honored to have every single one of you out there and come on and watch and a live stream like once in a while. But yeah, so I'm seeing like a couple of questions right here, which are pretty interesting. And yeah, what do we have right here? Some questions. Who funded these people? I don't know who actually funds these people, but I'm assuming that there are like some rich people who have like way too much money. Some people like say that it's like Wahhabi Saudi Arabian money kind of thing, which is maybe like the sort of like interpretation that our good old Najib Sapoop might have wanted to say. Yeah, like this is basically what you've got right here. Like this whole question at the moment about like people basically saying, hey, it's like a Saudi donation. Yeah, that's right. Everybody sent me money. I don't know where it actually came from. That's what it is right over there. So yeah, like fun, but not really very, shall we say, like supported by the evidence. Yep, it is what it is. Anyway, so yeah, like if you actually think about all of that, it's just kind of like crazy. But I don't know who actually like funded this sort of thing. But presumably there is actually a funder, and yeah, like it's interesting. They believe in their cause, you know what I mean? Like it's just what you've got. I don't know. Like it's kind of sad, honestly, because like if you actually like go out there and you fund a cause that like isn't really working right there, like think about it. Like it's so sad. Like that's like such a waste of money. So sad, so sad, so sad. And yeah, what do we have right over there? Now, um Safi, you're absolutely right. It's like provocation right over there. And what else have people been saying? Yeah. Well, anyway, what do we have? Ooh, okay. Zamri is doing it for attention. I think that he definitely is. And a lot of people actually do things for attention kind of thing. It's nothing necessarily wrong. Heck, like every single influencer in the world is basically doing things for attention because, like, for better or for worse, right? Like, being an influencer means, like, yeah, like, if you have more followers, then that scales with your impact on the world. And then, like, sorry, not sorry to say this, but like also with your bottom line, like, are you able to do this in like in a sustainable way? Which is why like people will do things like, for example, like, well, make posts to play victim and stuff like that right there. Or like, just like cover like really popular topics. Cause like that's just how you get people to actually like support you as a human being, right? But like in his case right there, yeah, like you could say that it's like nefarious lah, right? Like cause you're basically saying that like it's a rule of law thing, right? Which it turns out, right, that almost none of y'all actually believe. Like, look at that. Like your poll, like y'all are literally saying right here, 4% rule of law. 4% rule of law. Do you see what that is right there? That's like actually people on the internet like saying that, hey, it's not really about rule of law, right? And like from the guy who like spammed the chat earlier, right? Like, look, like this is not a complete echo chamber. There are like people out there, right? Who are and like I'm actually zooming in right now on like aku tetap bertahan. For those of you who don't know, like this is okay. Look, we can actually go and see like what he was saying, right? Like he was literally saying, "Kroni aku ada kat Bukit Aman, jangan nak memandai tunjuk kuasa," that kind of thing. Look, I mean, bro, like I mean, if you want to say that like you have cronies and everything like that, bro, like just think about it, right? Okay, sekarang aku cakap dalam BM untuk sekejap, okay? Okay, okay, guys. Like to those of you who don't understand Malay, right? Like I'm sorry, but like you might have to like like get an AI translator or something like that. What you can actually do, right, is like you can actually go on ChatGPT, right? And then you can actually go, right? And this is like a fun thing that I'm going to show you right here. If and like a lot of people have been like wondering about this right here. I will show you, right? A really cool thing that you can do with ChatGPT. All right, so you see this like little microphone thing right here? So if you tap onto this, right, and then you basically start talking at whatever rate it is that you want right here, you could basically be saying supercalifragilisticexpialidocious or any number of other things in combination, in parallel, in series, in whatever order it is that you basically consider to be appropriate for your particular purpose. And you press basically this thing over here, which is like this little like send thing right here. What's going to happen actually is that it is going to go right ahead and transcribe everything. All right, so like we're not actually going to get like the response to that right there, but like I'm gonna show you this right here, right? So like sekarang, right? I so sekarang ni kalau saya bercakap dalam bahasa Melayu kan, so masalahnya adalah tunggal, okay? So dia macam ni tau. All right. So notice that what you have is that, oh, interesting. So it actually transcribed things into Malay, which is like nice. I mean, like it actually managed to do that. So I guess like you guys can actually do that if you want. So like not a problem. But like, yeah, I'm gonna say this right now, right? Like in Malay. But what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna change the default language because I want to make sure that like the default language that this actually comes out in is as follows. All right. So for those of you who just came in right here, so like we were talking about like Zamri Vinoth, but now like somebody is basically saying that hey, he has a crony in Bukit Aman. And now I'm actually like going ahead and like responding to that, right? Because like, and this is like not just to the guy, but like also to his so-called friend right over here. Kan? Okay. So I will say this right now and entirely in Malay. Okay. All right. Mat, kalau kau betul-betul ada kawan dalam Bukit Aman kan, you rasa ke yang dia tu akan gembira sebab you nak cuba belagak yang dia tu kawan engkau? Adakah seseorang kawan akan mendatangkan kesangsian khalayak ramai terhadap pihak polis? Kalau kau nak orang syaki yang sememangnya ada orang yang merupakan duri dalam daging ataupun kroni engkau dalam Bukit Aman kan? Adakah itu tindakan seseorang yang pandai? Dan kalau kau nak timbulkan keresahan ataupun tuduhan terhadap PDRM, adakah salah kalau PDRM dan juga kawan engkau sekarang ni difahamkan tentang insiden ini dan juga tuduhan engkau yang tidak berasas ini, maka mereka terus pergi untuk cari engkau dan korek engkau keluar daripada lubang busuk yang kau ditetapkan dalam tu demi menentukan sama ada kau memang ada kroni. Mat, kalau kau nak tunjukkan yang kau hero sangat tu, kau janganlah tunjukkan dengan gaya bodoh macam ni. Ada kroni ke? Sekarang ni semua orang pun tahu kau punya nama dekat YouTube. Kau ingat yang sebenarnya tiada orang yang boleh report dekat engkau. Kau ingat yang kau boleh spam setiap hari tanpa kesan, tanpa apa-apa yang akan berlaku kepada engkau. Tapi kalau kau berani sangat, kalau kau pandai sangat, kenapa je kau tak jadi officer PDRM? Kenapa kau nak kena tuliskan komen macam ni dekat PDRM? So, kepada semua kawan yang berada dekat PDRM sekarang, so korang pasti pernah jumpa aku. Korang sepatutnya tahu siapa aku. Korang pernah juga beri kuih kepada aku. Dan sekiranya korang ni memang terjumpa seseorang yang merupakan kroni kononnya, so saya rasa kalau aku ada kroni pun, saya tak kisahlah. I mean like, as in, kalau aku ada kawan kan, mungkin it's like very normal kan. So like ada banyak orang yang memang ada kawan di luar pekerjaan. Adakah itu maksudnya yang mereka semuanya adalah kroni? Dan kalau kau dianggap sebagai kroni hanya kerana seseorang tu telah anggap kau sebagai seorang kawan, adakah itu adalah perasaan yang baik? Saya rasa tak baik kan? Macam tak aci je. Macam fake sangat tu. Jadi kau sendiri carilah. Tepuk dada tanya iman. Siapa yang aku kenal, si bangsat tu, yang nak dok kata yang aku adalah kroni, dan bagaimanakah aku nak selesaikan mamat tu dengan segera dan sebagainya. Alright. So you're actually gonna see right here. Well, I feel like I experienced like a mode transition earlier. That's kind of like not something that you would expect, really. But you know what? I'm gonna go right ahead and like actually copy this and I'm gonna paste it into a document and then we can actually go ahead and like have a look at it like together. Um and actually, you know what? Like I'm actually gonna be nice right here. I'm gonna provide like a translation right here. I will call this document like BM speech, right? And it is, of course, like addressed like to the beautiful people of like the PDRM and to all of y'all out there on the stream, right? But yeah, so like there is a good old-fashioned document right here, which you're gonna see on stream just in a little bit right here. All right. So, wow, okay, I don't think that it actually transcribed every single thing, but I think that you kind of understand like what is going on right there. All right. Kalau kau betul-betul ada kawan dalam Bukit Aman kan, you rasa ke yang dia tu akan gembira? Yeah, that's what it is right here. It didn't really spell like every single thing right. But you know what? Like, I'm gonna go right ahead and actually like go ahead and put it into Chat GPT, and then you can actually see what I really said right there. Translate what I just said into English and format it into paragraphs, and then provide the English version on top, and then the BM version formatted, but don't change my wording down at the bottom, please. Thank you. All right, let's have a look. BM version. Okay, great. Yeah, I don't know, like, but that was like sort of like spontaneous thing right there because like honestly, like, you know, I think a lot of people have like had negative experiences with PDRM and stuff like that. I haven't had negative experiences with PDRM yet. I admit that because of my personal like qualities, the way that I speak or interact with people, it's kind of like I don't know whether like it's right to say that like it has a hypnotic effect on like some people sometimes, right? Like when I interact with them kind of thing. Um, but I have been told that, right? So then like what I experience, right, might not be the same as what you personally experience, right? Like what I just did there is exactly what I did, right? When I was talking about like Rex Stan just the other day, right? in the police station when the police officer, like, who was basically like grilling me in Malay, was like, like just like asking me, right? Hey, you not report racist ni kan? Hey, you want to report Rex Tan da? And it was like kind of like interesting. But hey, you know what? Let's go right ahead, right, and have a look. All right. So first, actually, I like some comments, which some of y'all are like casually like mentioning right over there. Yeah, so like 54% of y'all actually are saying that, hey, look, it is religious. 11%, it is actually a rule of law. Okay, look, like the rule of law sepupz are actually saying like, hey, it's actually a rule of law thing. And now it's 10%. So like interesting, very unique. Hello, John. What is up? VK Dev, you're welcome for my telling you about dollar. Yeah, question sort of thing right there. Anyway, okay, so like crony ataupun kawan. Okay, look. So like this is the formatted version right over there, which you can go right ahead and have a look at. The context for those of you who just arrived, right, is that like some idiot basically came in and then like to this comment section, he was like saying that, hey, look, you know what? Like I have like friends in like PDRM kind of thing. And this is why I said, right? Like for now, and by the way, like those of you who literally just came in, it's a live stream. You are in the correct place. We are talking about Zamri Vinoth and how he got arrested right here, and how basically, well, he did not end up creating the sort of like racist rally, sad situation type thing right here, and people are crying at the moment, one after another. 549 angry, 230 sad. Okay, I think that the ratio of like the laughter emojis has like kind of like gone up right here, but like we're not really there yet. And yeah, like I'm saying again that he actually wanted this. So then, yeah, now we had the poll, of course, and this is what I said earlier. Let me read it out for you. Let me read it out for you. Okay. So I was saying to this guy who wrote the comment, hey, uh, I have a crony in the PDRM. Don't be so smart to like basically show your power, that kind of thing. So I said, but if you truly have a friend in Bukit Aman, do you think he'd be happy that you're just trying to show off like he's your friend? Would a real friend create public suspicion toward the police just because you want people to suspect there's someone on the inside, some duri dalam daging or your crony in Bukit Aman? Is that the action of someone smart? And if you're trying to create anxiety or accusations against PDRM, is it wrong for your friend, for PDRM and your friend to be informed about this incident and your baseless accusation, and then they go and find you and dig you out the filthy hole you set up just to determine whether you really do have a crony? If you want to show that you're such a hero, don't show it in such a stupid way like this. Do you have a crony or not? Right now, everyone already knows your name on YouTube. You think nobody can report you. You think you can spam every day without any consequences, with nothing happening to you. But if you're so brave, if you're so clever, why don't you just become a PDRM officer? Why do you not need to write comments like this to PDRM? Wow, sepupz. Like it's I feel that, by the way, like if it were about like say a year ago, like my Malay would not have been at this level that I can actually do this like shall we say off the cuff. So like I can actually do this like with my eyes closed if you don't believe like what I'm doing at the moment. If you think that basically I was like reading off a script or a document kind of thing, but I think that you saw that like on my screen share, right? There was nothing of the sort earlier, and like it just like pretty much like came into being. So yeah. Anyway, so let's continue with what I said a little bit earlier, right? In relation to this guy who's just like casually trying to cast aspersions on the PDRM. So to all friends in the PDRM right now, you've definitely met me before. You should know who I am. You've even given me kueh. And if you really do run into someone who is supposedly a crony, then I think even if I do have a crony, I don't really care. I mean, like, as in, if I have a friend, right, that's very normal, right? And I guess like that's like kind of like hard to understand because like what I was trying to say is that like, hey, look, police officers can have friends as well. You can be normal people. Kalau kau orang biasa, kan, you ada kawan kan? Kalau you PDRM pun, you pun ada kawan kan? PDRM punya officer pun, boleh je ada yang baik, ada je yang buruk, ada je yang ada kroni yang buruk, ada je yang ada kroni yang baik, kononnya. Then ada yang kena bully, ada yang bully. Sama lah dalam setiap taraf masyarakat. Di mana-mana seseorang tu pergi, dia pun akan nampak ada kepelbagaian macam ni. Kan? Ada banyak orang, banyak ragam. Oh my god, like I remember my peribahasa. Um, so yeah, like that's the kind of thing that like you just need to understand, right? Like your police officers can be normal people as well. Dan korang dekat PDRM, okay? Barangkali ada banyak orang dalam PDRM yang akan tengok video ni, kan? Saya nak kau tahu yang kami sanjungi engkau. Bukan semua orang yang sanjungi engkau, okay? Ada banyak orang yang hate your guts. They think that you're trash. From the bottom of their hearts, they think yang korang tu sampah. But you know, I think that a lot of y'all are okay. My experiences show me that you are okay. And I have a feeling that we'll meet more of you in the future out there. So yeah, like by all means, you know, like if you see me, if you know me, say hi. Like I look forward to it. Right now, by the way, I think that like there are probably like some people out there who are thinking like this guy's like crazy. Like what is he saying right now? Why are you like just casually talking to the police and then saying like, hey, like come and get to know me kind of thing? Shouldn't you be going out there and like saying like, hey, all of you zabo like go out there and like slide into my DMs or something. But no, like I really genuinely feel this way, right? That like again, the people that you see on a daily basis, right? Okay, like whether you're Malay, you're Chinese, you're a police officer, you're like Angkatan Tentera Malaysia, you are a government servant or anything else, right? Like, look, like you are going to have most likely, you know, a good experience if you actually like just casually talk to them, right? And then you're not like going out there and then saying like delulu shit like, oh, saya ada crony, bro. Like, okay. And this is something I really want to say, right? Like, look, you already see that like with Zamri Vinoth, right? Like the guy can actually be all like, hey, I'm getting arrested. But actually, like his real goal, right, is to actually like get arrested because he actually wants them donations, kan? That's not lie. Like, that's actually what he wants, right? Like you're gonna see actually that like you know like in human life, kan? So you cannot just assume that what you see is like accurate, right? People can smile and then betray you at the same time. And then some people can like basically like they look like they're like the worst people in the entire world. But actually like inside them, right, like they actually have good hearts. But it's not like the fairy tales where like you can say that like, oh, just because somebody is weak when they were like in school or something, then like they are the best kind of thing, right? Like no. You have to accept that like some people they can remain weak for their entire lives. And you also have to accept, right, that like sometimes the bad guy will not be punished, right? So like if you're asking me like, will Zamri Vinoth get like punished kind of thing? I think realistically, even if he does get punished or whatever have you, right, it's not something that you should like plan for. It's not something that you should expect. God, like, okay, no. And I know that can be hard to accept, right, for some of y'all, right? Like this feeling that like, oh, you know, like there is no justice in this world, right? But I feel that honestly, like when you get this feeling that like, hey, there are bad people, they are going to be doing bad things, right? And it's like a normal thing for them to do bad things. They will do it without any question right there. I think that you start to remember that actually you can contribute your own light, which is what I'm trying to do in like a small way here and there, right? Like through this live stream, through this conversation. And if you feel that way, then if you agree, then consider doing the same, right? Like passing it on. I'm not gonna ask you to like just like donate to my channel or anything like that. It is helpful. But I am saying that like if you find value in this live stream, right? What I would really appreciate, right, is that somehow there's a part of you that somehow decides, right, hey, look, I'm gonna like pass this on, right? Like this knowledge that like maybe things are not just what they are, right? Let's finish reading like what I said a little bit earlier on in the thing. All right. Okay, so there are many people who have friends outside of work. Does that mean that they're all cronies? And if you're considered a crony just because someone considers you a friend, is that a good feeling? I don't think it's good, right? It's like not fair. It's like very fake. And I meant this completely when I said it, right? Imagine somebody comes up, okay, like, look, right? I am not going to okay, I don't want to like show off. I don't want to be like, I will flex at you, that kind of thing right there. But I will say this, right? Um, I have a certain rate of success in like meeting people who are very accomplished, right? Like I'll just put it in that way, right? And I will say this that it doesn't matter if the person is like a company director, they're CEO of a $1 billion company. I have met these kinds of people before, right? I'm sure that some of y'all also have as well, right? So I want to be respectful of the fact that like you probably have done that as well on your own in your own capacity. But across my interactions, right, I have never met a single person, right, who has enjoyed being treated like they are a jalan for somebody else, a means to an end, right? Like we are all human beings. I am a human being. I have biological functions. I eat, I sleep, I fight, and the last one, then like I think some of you all know already. But anyway, as a human being, right? I think that psychologically inside ourselves, we want to be appreciated for who we are. Dan saya rasa kalau kau abang polis ke, kau seorang pemilik syarikat ke, I think that that is the same. So hopefully we can have more people realize, right, that like you should be treating people in that way, right? Social media, I think, is like not a very good representation of reality. I'm sorry, but like you are listening to me speak right now, and maybe some of y'all are like thinking, oh, hey, you know what? Like this is like an average type of experience kind of thing right there. But no, like I am a specific creator. You were drawn here because of the algorithm. And then like it is because somehow or another, right? Like what I happen to be saying is clear, therefore you are listening. Kan? But is it a representation of reality? Is every single Malaysian like this? I think it might be a bit hard to say, lah, right? And by a similar token, right? If we look at like all the racist comments that we see on social media, kind of thing, like can we say that like every single one of them represents reality? If you look at like what Zamri Vinoth is like basically getting out there from all of this, with all the people saying police jaga kul haram right there, is it accurate to say that this is like the overall sentiment kind of thing? It's convincing, but I'm just gonna say this to you right now that this is not reality. Reality is the people that you meet on a day-to-day basis. Social media is going to influence that. I think like we can't change that, right? And like it is true that like our social media can like give us like large scale influence in ways that can be harmful to us and very clearly tell us falsehoods about the nature of the reality that we are actually living in. But yeah, like there are ways that you can try to overcome that, or at least like become better at like thinking so that like you're not like subjected to that as like a problem like constantly. All right, anyway, so like yeah, that was like my little like spiel on that. And did I have anything else left to read? So you go and figure it out yourself. Tepuk dada tanya Iman. Who do I know? This did I really say that? I don't think I said that. Did I say that? I don't think I said that. Did I swear on the stream? God, I'm gonna get demonetized. And how am I going to settle that scene quickly and so on? Okay, I have no idea what happened here. But yeah, this is the main point. Yeah. So like even if you know PDIM officers, right? Please don't treat your friends, right, as like a means to an end. Like that's not good. Okay? And that's also true, right? For like the guy that was like saying right here, aku tetap bertahan. Kalau kau tahan pun, right? Ada maknanya? Tak. So I rasa like if you are living in this way, right? Like you are just like constantly like yapping about how you like cronies and like friends kind of thing, bro. Like you're probably like very desperately alone. I'm sorry. Like I look down on you. But I hope that you get better soon. Yeah, anyway, that is basically what it is. What do we have in the comments right over here? Okay, so what do we have? Crony. I believe it's a distraction. What I need to do today when Modi is here. Yeah, like A Kathirasan actually made a post about that on FMT. I think like you guys can actually like go ahead and read that. FMT A Kathirasan. Okay. So like he recently wrote a piece about how illegal temples are not the real reason for tomorrow's rally. You can go ahead and read it. It's an interesting piece right over there. I think that it's kind of worthwhile to have a look at along the way. And it shows you actually that like not everything that you see, right, is like exactly as you might think it is. Oh, thank you, Hassan. Terima kasih. Terima kasih, sepup. Sepup, sepup, sepup. Yeah, there you go. Nishant, 80-20 rule on social media. Not everyone is racist. So then, Joshua Fernandez says it's accurate to say it's the overall sentiment. Maybe, maybe not. But like, that's like a question, right? Like, it's the overall sentiment on his channel or it's the overall sentiment of the entire community. That's an open question. Kan? So, questions about what a crony is. Okay, I think that this is like, to be fair, right? Like, it's a word, right? That like people need a little bit of like guidance on right there. But a crony, look, a crony is a close, long-standing friend or companion. Okay, it is often used in a negative, informal, or disapproving context to describe an associate, accomplice, or partner in shady, dishonest, or unfair dealings. So then, like, it is frequently used in political or business context to describe beneficiaries of nepotism or cronyism. So, like, it implies like corruption, right? Yeah. So, like, yeah, I don't know. Like, if you have friends, right, and like good friends to that point, then like, it seems like according to this guy, then you have cronies. Not a single like real relationship in this world. Like, nobody that you can call at like 2 a.m. in the morning, that kind of thing. And yeah, like if you can basically just say that like that's a crony and you're done, then well, I think that that's a very sad existence to live out. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, so like that's basically like the Zamri Vinoth situation. And yeah, I hope that you guys have enjoyed that so far. And yeah, so any questions at this point in time? Oh, yeah, right. Fun fact, by the way. Okay, so I've been posting a lot about like the impersonator, and that drama has been like pretty much like ongoing at this point right here. It's very interesting to think about right there. But basically, I thought I would show you right, like a little bit of yeah, what's happening with Chinner curling panda tongue. Yeah, it's kind of wild. But like for those of you who don't know actually, so like somebody went and basically started impersonating me on Facebook. Basically they took my profile picture and it's just kind of wild like to see like what is actually happening right there with this particular person. But yeah, there were a series of like different posts, right, which we could actually like look at like for a brief while right there as we consider the experience of what this person was like trying to create. Yeah. Anyway, do 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 do. All right. So basically what they did was that they stole my profile picture and like they ended up right like just and by the way it's like it's not a he right it's like it's actually like a she apparently like it says like her profile picture she changed it she stole my profile picture and like you can actually see that it's my profile picture because like right over there like they took it like from over there and then like ended up putting it on their profile kind of thing. Chinner curling panda tongue so triggered this person. Yeah, so like this is what it is. Anyway, so like the actual account, right, as it turns out, is right over. Hold up, let me see if I can actually find it. Da, 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 ba, 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 ba. Sorry. Ah, yes, okay. Close this. Close. Ah, great. Share. Okay, so like this is the guy right now. I don't know what's actually going on with this person, but like this is the most recent post because I filed like two different meta legal requests to remove like every single thing that he had posted right there, which it seems that like a whole bunch of people are kind of like happy about and stuff like that. The interesting thing, by the way, is that like this is something that I can only see because like I ended up using a new profile. There is no profile picture. And like to the extent that he wants to basically like share things publicly, right? Like there's no way for him to not have me see what he's posting right here. And I just want to say this also, right? Um, if any of you know any of these people right here, I'm pretty sure that that's not like his actual face, but these are people who were targeted by him, right? So like, if you know these people, then go ahead and like send them a message and tell them, hey, like this idiot went and like stole your picture, and like you should probably do something about it. I don't know what it is right here, but yeah. By the way, like for those of you who were also looking for like another update right here, so we're actually getting like one of the guys who actually got targeted by this guy to actually make a police report. So then like hopefully we'll be able to like update you on that a little bit later on. Yeah. Anyway, so towards the very end. Yeah, so like it's apparently a her, bro. Like I don't know how this actually happened that particular way, but like apparently it is a her. I know it's like a shock. I know. Like, okay. And I also have like something interesting to share with you, right? Because like so like basically this girl actually messaged me on like okay, maybe I shouldn't say girl because like she's actually like older than me. But like basically this woman basically messaged me, right? And she basically said, "Hey, so this person is like abusing my friend right now. My friend is Prita Samarasan. So this person is like a friend of Prita Samarasan, and she said that like there was a point when they were in a comment exchange, right? And then like after all of the racist comments, which you have seen right over here, right? Then basically this bugger, he basically shifts away. Oh my god. Oh yeah, this is the guy who is actually going to be making the police report, by the way. Like sorry Theva, but like you're basically like on the profile. So like it is what it is. Um but yeah, so like while he was in the middle of his like racist rant right here, this loser basically went out to this woman, right, who was like speaking to me and then said, "Can I date you?" That's right. Let the ox sink in. Let me show you the face again. Look, imagine this character. It's not the real face, by the way. Like that's like a face of like a random woman that she apparently got off the internet. Imagine this person who is like basically talking about like type C's. Malaysia is better and more peaceful without the pendatang Chinese and Indian. All that stuff right here. Yeah. Okay. Imagine that this person right here just goes like full on, I don't want to say schizo mode, but like honestly, like it's just like kind of like schizo mode and says to a random woman, right, that he has never met before, he has never seen in his entire life, and then literally goes up and says, you know, can I date you? What? Okay, I mean, okay, like that actual message was like it was like pretty good. So like I'm actually tempted to like go ahead and like screenshot it so that you guys can actually see like what it was. I was actually like shocked, right? I don't know if like it is actually, hold up, let me see. All right. Okay. Did she say date? When did she say date? Like we had a very long conversation. Anyway, so like basically this person said like, "Hey, can I date you?" Imagine a racist that like basically hates your race, just like casually, unprovoked, going up to you and saying, "Hey, can I date you?" And then like basically this particular woman, like as in like my new friend, right? So then she replies to the racist and she says something like, "Are you a woman?" And then like that loser basically goes out and then says, "I'm gender fluid." I I mean it's it's kind of interesting. I mean, like to think about like what actually is going on right there. I don't know how or why, right? Of like I don't know how or why people actually do this right here, but like it's just crazy. It's just crazy. I don't know. But yeah, it's unique to see like what kinds of people there are out there. Exactly, bro. Like it is actually kind of like crazy to like literally think about that, right? Like you can just imagine, right? And this is actually like something that I was like talking about earlier, right? You know, like last time, right? I used to actually like think to myself, like all these racists, right? Like they are like horrible people kind of thing. And like I think like yeah, like you probably agree that like they are like bad people, like they are like not good people all the way, right? Like basically all of like the penunggang agamas, like basically like the penunggang bangsas, that kind of thing right there. Like they're not good people, right? Like they're not the kinds of people that you want to hang out with. Like they're not the kind of people that like you want to like say like, hey, I want to like spend my time with you right there, right? I think like you see a lot of those people like on the internet right there, and like even amongst like the people in this Zamri Vinoth post right here, you can see right like just look at like, the comments, right? Yeah. Okay, well in this case right here, like people are like actually like saying, hey, Jaga Quil Haram. Ah, that kind of thing right there. But like, oh my gosh. Koyak okay, that one is like that was like from a fellow Indian. Fair enough, fair enough. But like there are actually a lot of people who are very racist and who are literally using this as an opportunity to like do whatever nonsense right there, right? Which is why like I didn't want the rally to happen in the very first place, right? Like look, wow, like okay, yeah, that's why I didn't want the rally to happen in the first place. You can see like what I said, right? This is everything that I said. If you want, you can go and screenshot it. You can basically go and like the post if you want to like share it with like more people and have essentially like more people understand. By the way, like this guy is like crazy, right? Like this guy actually was like saying, "Hey, we always ready for another May 13 right here." This Adam Shah Zielan right here, which is like uh, okay. I I don't know, man. Like, why do these kinds of people exist? Like, why are they like just constantly look like you think to yourself that like this is not about racism, this is like not about any of that, right? Then like you see a person like this, right? And you obviously see that like this is a real problem, right? Yeah, but like if you actually look at like these people who are like racist and stuff like that, right? So like my point, right, is that a lot of these people actually have like mental disorders and like they actually have like problems that cause them right to be unable to function normally. So like if you basically like end up like trying to say like destroy people like that, right? I think that one thing you need to understand, right, is that like you are probably destroying like in some ways, right, a mentally disabled and incapacitated person. But look, like, okay, I accept, I know that there are a lot of people out there, right, who are racist, but they have no mental disorders at all. They have no mental disorders, no problem, none of those at all, right? Because they are literally just bad people. But statistically speaking, right, if you are a relatively successful human being, right, you have money, you are a politician that doesn't depend on race or religion, or like you have your own business, you have your own things going on, good career, GLC, like whatever have you right there, the chance is very high, right, that you're not going to end up like being a racist. I know that like I saw the Petronas races, right? And like I made a video about the Petronas races, which you guys can have a look at. But that is not as common as you might think, right? Because if you're actually successful, then like you're not gonna be thinking about how like everybody else is like different from you just because of like agama bangsa kind of thing. It doesn't work that way, right? Like your brain can't like constantly think about that. And like the politicians basically are just kind of like they're doing it for a living, right? But just imagine all those poor people with an emphasis on poor, right? in multiple different ways. Just imagine all those people like going out there and then like campaigning, right? For all of the people that they are just casually like supporting for agama dan bangsa. It must be like the ultimate act of gaslighting. And imagine, oh, by the way, like here's a fun picture that I made. Ta-da-da-da, 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 ta-da-da-da. How do you feel about my masterpiece? That is, yeah, that is, yeah, that's a Quill command center. Um, yeah, whatever. Like, I don't think they're going to be punished, by the way. Like, but they are not the average kinds of racists. They are the kinds of people, and I'm not accusing them of being racist, right? But you, your own selves, like, you can judge whether they are or whether they are not, right? But if you look at the average person, like, for example, like that Adam guy earlier, right? You just think, right? Like, what made him so hateful? What made him into who he is? Why is he racist? Now, some people might say that like it comes down to like upbringing. Some people might then say that it comes down to the constitution. Some people might then say it's because of like what their parents taught them. Kurang ajar. Tiada siapa yang beri tunjuk ajar langsung, that kind of thing right there. And you know what? All of those things are very believable, right? But you know, over this time, right, I think that like running this channel, right, I've developed a little bit of like a reputation. Basically, if you try to be racist against me, then like I will destroy you. Like that's like a standard thing right there, which I think that more people could have, right? Like if you just like are actually willing to report, right? Like if you actually dare to go out there and then like you actually go out and report, right? It's like not controversial. It is something that more people should understand that they have access to, and that more people should believe that they can do, right? But once upon a time, right, I actually used to think of it as like, oh, it's something good that we have to do. We have to remove all the races from the world, kind of thing. Yes, whenever like I get somebody like this off the internet, like it is a win for divine justice. It's great. It makes me feel like good. But like after a while, it sort of has changed in my mind, right? Like nowadays, it's more of like, whenever I think about like getting rid of somebody like that, whether it is like the people who are casually like they are supporting Zamri Vinoth, right? And then acting like it's rule of law, but actually it's racism, that kind of thing. Whether it's those kinds of people, or it's somebody like your standard issue, like chinner, curling, panda tongue, who is actually like somebody with like, I don't know, like sexual dysmorphia or something like that, who is a girl, but apparently wants to date a girl and like goes out there and offers like to date like random women that he has never met before on the internet. I don't know. It's like I just feel like there's like usually something wrong with them. That's like it doesn't make me feel good to be all like, hey, yeah, I don't know. Sham, how do you know that drunk people talk in that particular way? Have you been drinking alcohol yourself? It sounds like you do that. How long have you been drinking alcohol, Sham? How many drinks have you been taking? Do you like drinking? It sounds like you have a lot of experience. MDA Sham. Does anybody want to go out there and check their colleagues' phones to figure out who this MDA Sham is, to find out their identity, to look at their YouTube profile, to search YouTube, to search Facebook, to search Instagram, to send out to their WhatsApp groups to understand like who this person actually is right there. I don't know like who this person is. Ooh, elite knowledge. Wow, ada elite knowledge ni. Pandainya. I see that your parents taught you very well, Muhammad A. Sham. Like, it's in your name, is it not? I mean, like, if you think about it, like, Preset one, right? Wow. Tapi Sham, gunalah bahasa Melayu. Memartabatkan bahasa Melayu. Mengaku orang Malaysia tapi tak nak cakap bahasa Melayu. Cakap talking like a drunk. Wow, suka pergi party ni. Wow. Macamlah warisan engkau yang akan khianati engkau pada masa depan. Sebab kau seekor bangsat yang tidak belajar bagaimana nak beradab daripada bapa dan mak laknat engkau yang memang tidak berupaya untuk memberi kepada engkau apa yang diorang sendiri tak terima daripada warisan mereka yang juga adalah laknat. So, my acquaintance Sham, if you enjoy alcohol, you don't need to tell us. You can just go ahead and enjoy yourself. It's better than trying to say things on a live stream to people that you don't know because you somehow feel inclined to go out there and insult people because your parents did not teach you otherwise. You know, I don't have a lot of sympathy for people who were not given teachings. I do have sympathy though for people who do have, shall we say, mental disorders. Kan? That is something that I like naturally feel, right? Like if you actually have like a mental disorder, then fine. Like, you know, society can pity you a little bit right there. But well, it's not everyone. It's not like consistently or anything like that. But yeah, like if a person actually is like the chinner curling panda tongue right there, that one is like really like it's messed up, lah, bros. It's messed up. Anyway, so poops, any more questions out there from our friends out there? Muhammad Marcus Lim, I am glad that you did that right there. I mean, like, I don't know if like you're actually trying to insult anyone though, but like it's yeah, I don't know. Like that could actually be yeah, I'm not sure what's going on right there. Whatever. Anyway, so the poll ends with 173 votes, and basically a grand total of y'all out there have said that in fact the Kul Haram protest was 52% you think that it was actually a religious protest. 19% of you think that it was neither a religious protest or a rule of law protest. Uh, 16% of you think that it's other, and only 13% of you think it was rule of law. So like it's that is what it is. Well, of course, like you know, a democracy, it's like it doesn't really like tell you every single thing, can. And sometimes like a lot of people can choose like a single thing, but like actually they can all be wrong. But is that so in our current situation? I think that a lot of us would say that like no, it's actually not, right? But yeah, it's the tale of Zamri Vinoth and his arrests. I hope that he's very happy in lockup, which is exactly what he wanted, by the way. And yeah, I don't know. It's pretty crazy. China adalah satu akidah. I think that's probably like somebody trying to you know what, like okay, I don't know, I don't know what's up with this guy, but yeah, anyway, I'm glad that you decided to make the choice that you decided to make, but I don't know, like this might be like some kind of like indirect like mocking of like whatever have you right there. But anyway, it's late, so we are gonna casually wrap this up right now. So anyway, Sapoops, thank you for watching this little live stream right here. Even going out there and then looking at my little BM and English speech, as it were. It was fun. Or I hope that you found it fun. I mean, like you were watching it, and like we had a lot of people today. And yeah, I hope that some of y'all out there will come back for the next live stream. I try to stream once every couple of days. It's usually in the evening, like not to say like late evening, but like yeah, usually like late-ish evening, 9, 10 p.m. Kind of thing right there. So yeah, I would love it if you could come. Thank you. If you'd like to contribute to this channel, feel free to either use the QR code down there or any of the methods of payment. Or if you haven't subscribed already, then consider like dropping subscribe. And yeah, like send vibes, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you, Sapoops.